Prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump is at the courthouse today, seemingly there watching the Christopher Schurr trial. Crump is representing the Lyoya family in their civil suit against the city of Grand Rapids, along with attorney Ben Johnson. 13 on your side's Josh Albertus heard from Crump today earlier at the courthouse. He joins us live now. Josh, what did you hear today?
Yeah, Crump spoke to reporters just after this lunch break was called earlier. Before we get into it, he was there with a few of the Lyoya family members as well. I just want to play for you the full remarks there so you can see what he said before we kind of get into it. Take a look at what Crump had to say.
I'm attorney Ben Crump, along with attorney Ben Johnson, attorney Ayana Hatchett, and our legal teams. We have the honor of representing the family of Patrick Lyoya. We have his mother, father, Peter and Dorcas, as well as his other family members, the mothers of his children, gathered here at this moment during this trial where the police officer that killed him, what they believe is absolutely a case of driving while black. They thought it was important, since so much is going on in America, to remind everybody to watch the video of the killing of Patrick Lyoya. The truth is in the video. They don't understand a lot of things that are happening. They don't understand many of the court procedures, but they know what they see with their own eyes. And they know that in their heart, this was an unjustified, unnecessary, unconstitutional killing of yet again another unarmed black man. It is so important that you look at the video, you look at the actions of Patrick, always trying to get away, never posing any kind of aggressive action towards the officer. The whole time he's trying to go away. So this family continues to ask for your prayers, for justice. They continue to ask for your prayers for healing. They continue to ask for your prayers for his children. They continue to ask for the prayers for the community to heal. They have continued to ask that people stand with them, but people stand with them in a responsible, peaceful manner. This is one of the things that is so troubling to many people across America. You have videos showing these killings, but so often, as we come up on the 5-year anniversary of the killing of George Floyd, you see there still isn't accountability when police kill black people, and that remains a persistent issue in the United States of America. Thank you.
Can I ask what's your take on the Christopher Schurr's testimony today?
We're praying for justice. The family believes that nothing justifies him shooting Patrick Lyoya in the back of his head. It, at most, was a traffic stop. That should not equal a death sentence.
And what should happen to the officer?
Thank you. He should be held accountable. The same thing that would happen if it was your child. What would you want? That's what his family wants. If that was your child, what would you want? That's what this family wants. That's what our community wants. Nothing more, nothing less. If it's your child, what would you seek? Thank you.
And that point you heard there about what they feel has been shown through this trial, Lyoya, in their view, always trying to get away during the incident. Just interesting to note that because that same thing seems central to what you heard from the prosecution as they were doing their cross-examination of Schurr this morning. You know, it seemed like the prosecution were trying to establish that Lyoya was trying to escape, trying to not get tased, but that there was no action-based indication that he wanted to actually attack Schurr. But of course, Schurr kind of indicating on the other side, you know, in his own defense that it wasn't his training to wait and see what Lyoya would have done if he indeed did get a hold of the taser, Lauren.
And Josh, I want to ask about the emotion there. We saw Crump get a little, not feisty, but just emotional, talking about if that was someone else's child, what they would have done. Talk about the feeling in the room right there.
Well, you may have noticed there, Lauren, Crump was the only one speaking. I mean, there were family members there, but they were completely, they were silent. I mean, we've seen a lot of emotion, especially outside the court when it comes to this case. And, you know, people talking about, you know, how this family may have to be, you know, reliving that moment through the video over and over. So they were completely silent. I mean, honestly, if there was any kind of feeling from that, I'd say it's, you know, it's somber, it's solemn as they wait for the rest of this case to play out, is how it seemed to me in that moment. But, you know, he did hear there, he was kind of speaking for the family a little bit when he said, you know, the family is praying for kind of what he said here. Let me check my notes. Family was continuing to pray for justice and healing. And so, you know, but they had nothing to say, and that is probably, I guess, is probably going to be the case at least until this case wraps up. But it was just definitely a solemn feeling as they did not have anything to say at this point.
And Josh, I just quickly want to ask about just supporters, just in general outside. I know that you've been in the courthouse most of the day, but you've been able to walk in and out. Earlier, we did see some people supporting. Are there people still out there, or have they started to linger away?
Well, actually, Jeremy, my cameraman, if he wouldn't mind pointing over there, you can actually see there is still kind of a crowd over there right now. There are both Schurr supporters and people who have been chanting to the streets, you know, justice for Patrick. So we are still seeing quite a fair bit of people compared to the rest of the week at this point, especially as, you know, we have been reporting the news, of course, that, you know, Schurr had taken the stand. And so it's possible that we may see closing arguments soon. It may be wrapping up soon. So, you know, whether or not this kind of crowd size increases or reaction increases, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly there is still a presence on either side out here, Lauren.
Well, Josh, we appreciate you reporting, and we will be checking in with you later on. Thanks, Josh.